What's up, guys? Wednesday. What's our saying for Wednesday? Um, what's going on? I don't have a saying for Wednesday. We're just gonna get right into it. Hopefully, the show's a little bit shorter today. But we got Gordon Ryan. You guys love Gordon Ryan. He's opening up a new school, so let's check it out. Let's see what he's got to say.
Announce our new name, which is on our wall mats. And now that we've done that, I can give you guys a sneak peek of what we got going on here. So you guys saw in previous videos the wood slats that go down to the end. We have the Fuji mats with the Fuji. These guys did an incredible job, by the way. The Fuji fence that goes all the way along the mat space. The traditional green tatame, kind of like the Kodokan has. And then we have a pretty good size mat space with wall mats all along the side there. We'll have some seating up there. We'll have a couple of offices back there, maybe some weights, I'm not sure, which will kind of be like for instructors only probably. And then we'll have that back part, which are the bathrooms. So here's a little sneak peek we got going.
So guys, that's Gordon Ryan's new school. I'm not the biggest fan of the name Kingsway. I'm not really the biggest fan of that. I like New Wave. New Wave was cool. It just doesn't ring off the tongue that easily. Maybe they should have outsourced that. They should have. So they got Fuji sponsored mats, of course. Travis Stevens over there. They partnered up with BJJ Fanatics and BJJ Fanatics Wrestling. Jason says, is the Kingsway name better or worse than New Wave? I think New Wave's way better. It's easier to say. It's easier to spell, easier to say. Yeah, I got to go New Wave. That's easy. Kingsway. I don't know. I don't know. Seems a little weird to me, but, that's not my gym. Looks good. Can we see that one more time?
What's up, guys? We are here at Kingsway, and I can finally give you guys a sneak peek of the entire mat space, which we couldn't do before because we hadn't announced our new name, which is on our wall mats. And now that we've done that, I can give you guys a sneak peek of what we got going on here. So you guys saw in previous videos the wood slats that go down to the end. We have the Fuji mats with the Fuji. These guys did an incredible job, by the way. The Fuji fence that goes all the way along the mat space. The traditional green tatame, kind of like the Kodokan has. And then we have a pretty good size mat space with wall mats all along the side there. We'll have some seating up there.
I like the windows.
We'll have couple of offices back there, maybe some weights, I'm not sure, which will kind of be like for instructors only probably. And then we'll have that back part, which are the bathrooms. So here's a little sneak peek we got going.
Yeah, I like the windows in the front. So a few things. I see they got a ton of sponsors. So hopefully that's who paid for the school, and it didn't come out of their pockets, even though they got more money than everybody. So they're getting sponsors. So that's good. Think about getting sponsors if you have a school just like this. And, it's not a crazy space, it's just matted area, right? Maybe some offices, maybe little gym. So they're doing things smart. They're outsourcing, not the name, but they outsourced at least the funding of the school, I'm assuming. And then you just need the mats, guys. You really don't need that much investment. I mean, obviously the rent's going up, and getting a good space or location can be tough, but it doesn't take too much. So that's pretty cool. Atlanta Open, we got Atlanta Open medals, so hopefully not too bad. I like those. A little bit better than IBJJF. Got a little falcon on there. Looks more like a phoenix, but we'll take it. ADCC, yeah, that looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. We got Joseph Chin. You guys love Joseph Chin. We're gonna watch. Hopefully, we can get through this. gonna do like a bag video. I'll pay the like tax. Joseph, don't hit me with no copyright strike, please. And let's see what he's got to say. Let's see what's in his bag.
All right, hey guys, welcome to another bag review you didn't ask for. So,
Austin, bro, that's
we'll
your cousin. That's your brother,
breakdown
Austin.
of my packing for my upcoming trip to Oceania. I'll be going to New Zealand and Australia. So, a few things I want to talk about just briefly that influenced my packing is I'm going to Australia/New Zealand in December and January. So because it's in the southern hemisphere, it's actually summer there. So it actually makes it much easier for me to pack because I don't actually have to bring winter clothes. So all I'm bringing is what I'm going to carry on the plane, which is going to be this Uniqlo sweater I have and these jeans because on the plane it can get cold. But otherwise, I basically only plan on wearing shorts. So we'll get into all of the rest of the stuff. As you can see, we have a few things laid out. Just a brief overview. We have the Bellroy, I think, light travel pack. Anyways, this is, well, if I am saying the wrong name, we'll say it later. But this is probably my favorite bag at the moment. It's a 30-liter bag and it opens very nicely. And I think it's like probably the most like surprisingly spacious bag I have. Then we have the sling in which we talked about before, headphones, and then the demonstration shoes because my main shoes are too dirty. All right, so we'll quickly go over the Bellroy Venture sling that I have.
Joseph missed his calling, bro.
Basically, I won't go over it again because I went over it for the most part in the previous video. However, I do want to say a few things that I added. New night mask. And then I believe I also have my light umbrella in here now. Just because there are quite a few occasions where I had my umbrella in the main bag and I went out, it started raining and I didn't have my umbrella. So I just decided to keep the umbrella always on the sling just for
Can you show us the umbrella?
So yes,
don't open it. Don't open it.
No clue what this brand is.
Don't open it. Oh no,
Singapore,
Joseph.
I think at...
Is that an American thing, just opening umbrellas indoors? Or I think it is an American thing. I don't think they have it at other places.
And Knerps. So Knerps. It's a very light, very slim profile umbrella.
Yo, don't open that umbrella indoors, bro.
I mean, it's only useful for one person.
Don't do it. Oh,
if you anticipate
he did it. He did it.
What's it called? Create coverage for more than just yourself. Maybe consider getting a bigger umbrella, or maybe get two. But this is good for me because, especially with traveling, yeah, having this is useful. And sometimes at TSA, they'll have me remove this, but it's very convenient since I already have like my iPad and a battery pack in here. Removing it is not that much of a hassle.
If it rains, what happened to Katie?
I usually leave her outside of the umbrella's range, and she has to follow me. Water evaporates, you know? And here, my eye mask. My mother recently bought this for me for Christmas, so I've been using it the last couple days. No clue what this brand is. It's what does it say? Yeah, no clue. There's a V. But super nice. I think it's silk.
Yeah.
I think it's silk. So, highly recommend it. Super cool. I mean, half the reason also why I'm not sticking with the Matador one was because Owen Jones lost his, so I gave him my one, and so just fortunately enough, my mother gifted me this, so now I'm using this. But other than that, I believe there are no changes to this sling.
That's your guy's hero.
Also comes with a nifty
It's your
bag.
guy's hero.
You just shove it in here.
He's pretty wholesome. It's crazy that he ended up at B Team.
All right, so now
kind of the opposite of wholesome.
Correcting the name. This is the Bellroy.
What would you guys consider
Light
B Team?
Travel Pack. Once again, my favorite bag at the moment. So this is where the bulk of my stuff's going to be in. And then we're just going to weigh it real quickly, and we're going to have Lynn weigh it because I'm not going to step on the scale right now for Christmas reasons. For fest. I should have said festive reasons.
Joseph is big, bro.
So,
he ain't that small.
Over here.
Can you see?
So Lynn is currently, let's see, 71.7.
That guy's not that small either.
Okay, and then we have this backpack. And the reason, I mean, I'll talk about this in a moment.
He might be like 150s, 160s.
And then this one is
80. Dang.
82 point. So around 10 kilos, 11
this
kilos.
Almost
I
20
don't
pounds,
feel like
over
it's
20
10
pounds.
kilos though.
Yeah.
Feels super light.
I actually do think because what's it called? Okay, the padding here is actually quite nice. Like it's a nice little mesh where it's like, you can see how it kind of like, it's very breathable. Quite good straps even though they're stowable.
Yo, do we all have autism? What's going on? We watched
Anyways,
a bag
we'll go back
review
to me.
video.
So
We're watching a bag
as
review
Lynn said,
video,
it doesn't
guys. I'm
feel like
sorry.
it's 10 kilos. And I wish I was sponsored by Bellroy so I could.
We will
feel like,
be watching Eddie Bravo Part 3.
I am not, but I still think it's very convenient, very nice. One issue though, they do have this like harness strap for
Yeah, it's a little
that
flimsy
for the
though.
love of God of me, I can't make work. Or I'll try to do this one. I'm either
looks
getting
flimsy.
strangled, but then it just doesn't stay in place. So
Joseph, you need a
besides
better
that, it's a
bag,
great
bro.
bag. This I
You
feel like
need a
is
better
pretty
bag,
useless,
Joseph.
unless I don't know how to use it. But anyways, we'll talk about this bag a little
looks
bit.
lightweight,
just
though.
What are some of the features that I think are very good? One, the reason, especially because
All right, guys, if you want to finish watching that, go ahead. Shout out to Joseph Chin. If you guys need a bag for traveling, check that out. So next we got Gary Tonin. He says, I don't think John ever really wanted me to do MMA. That means you weren't really good at MMA. That's when the coach doesn't want you to do something, that means you're not good at it. Usually. He says his transition from elite jiu-jitsu competitor to professional MMA fighter has been a successful one, but it didn't come easy. While Tonin brought world-class grappling skills to the cage, that only covered a fraction of what MMA demands. Striking, which plays a massive role in MMA, was entirely new to him, and although his wrestling was decent by jiu-jitsu standards, the jump in competition level was steep. And he was fighting in one championship, guys, which has some tough guys, but like it's not like the UFC level, I don't think. I'm sorry, guys, don't attack me. UFC's been around longer. Of course the talent pool's deeper. Pause on that. Yeah, UFC, one championship lets the jiu-jitsu guys kind of pop over. You know, guys like Buchecha, Yuri Simões, Gary Tonin. But, I haven't seen any of those guys really go to the UFC, except for Ben Askren. Wasn't Ben Askren at one? And what happened when he went to UFC, guys? Can anybody tell me? Quan says, B-Team just tries to troll the traditional worship, cultish, overly masculine, serious culture that many old school BJJ academies are a part of. Quan, you a fanboy, bro. Yeah, I think that's what it started off as, but look at Craig Jones. You think any of that's super healthy? It's like he takes on the joke. You know, what was a joke starts to become reality. And again, Quan, you're assuming people understand that they're trolling to a certain degree. I assure you that a lot of people don't understand that. They just gonna follow and copy whatever B Team does. I've seen the ramifications of the people that follow B Team. There's a lot of impressionable people, Quan, you know, and they don't understand that they're trolling or, you know, they're making jokes or. Yeah, he pushing the limit. I think he already pushed the limits, Quan. I think. What else? What else does he have to do before you're like, all right, bro? I think he's got a problem. And I don't hate Craig Jones. He's okay. But I could definitely see him spiraling, out of control. And maybe this is all social media. Maybe this is all, you know. It's all just a big joke, you know. He's from Australia, so they a little different down there. Everything's reversed. he's even Joseph Chin said the weather's reversed in the southern hemisphere. So maybe the personalities are reversed too. I don't know. I'm just saying, Quan, I see the people that follow B Team, and I assure you they don't know that it's a joke or, you know, Craig's trolling them or anything. You know, they don't know that. They think it's real. And then they just follow it. What was I at? So I was talking about one championship not being the same level as UFC. I would stick with that argument just because UFC's been around longer. And, you know, they got killers everywhere. One championship got a lot of good guys too, mostly in the not so much in the MMA. Sorry guys. but more so in the kickboxing, Muay Thai. They got the really good guys there. The girls are really good though. He says the biggest challenge wasn't just the techniques, it was the training environment. Some of the first full sparring sessions I had were with Jake Shields. That was not good. And it was for like, I don't know how long we were training. I don't know if it was a week straight or 2 weeks straight or something like that. But it was just like I would do 3 rounds with Jake every day. Being thrown straight into the fire with the UFC and Strikeforce veteran might seem harsh, but it wasn't by accident. Tonin believes his long-time coach, John Danaher, had something else in mind. I don't think John will ever say it. Come out straight and say it, but I don't think John ever really wanted me to do MMA. Well, John saw what happened with, guys like, GSP and Matt Serra. They built different, they got a different mentality. I was thinking that he was hoping that I would just consistently stick with grappling, which he probably should have. Tonin gets why. MMA carries far more risk than grappling, both physically and professionally. MMA is risky, man. I would have gone in there and just embarrassed myself. Not that I necessarily thought that's what he thought was going to happen, but there's a lot of risk involved. It's a tough sport. It's not easy to make a name for yourself and all these things. He knew it was going to be a difficult thing. He knew that I was already doing really well in grappling, and it's like, why mess that up? That was kind of true. I think that's part of his way of making sure that I was really into this, and I really wanted to do it was making, bro, can I not read or can Gary not speak? Or maybe it's both. And I really wanted to do it was making the early part of my training very difficult. Or maybe this is AI. AI wrote this. So it's like, if I didn't really want to do it, I wasn't going to stick with it because it was tough to do those training sessions. Alrighty. I think, what do you guys think? You think Gary should have stuck with MMA or just stayed in jiu-jitsu? Or, I mean, clearly he was better at jiu-jitsu than MMA. He won a couple fights and won championship, yeah. But then the level got higher, and then that's kind of what happened to all the jiu-jitsu guys, really. Every jiu-jitsu guy except for Cade. I think he fought once or twice, I believe. I feel like everyone else kind of, they hit that first hurdle, and that's kind of it. Buchecha, Yuri Simoes, I believe. I mean, it can happen in the UFC as well. I mean, it's tough in UFC. It's hard in MMA. Shout out to Eddie Bravo because, he always said that was his goal, was to train people for MMA. Kwan said he was good in MMA. I think he only lost one fight, then just quit. Well, that was a pretty bad loss, though. What made it worse is that he lost at what he was really good at, what he specialized in. I think that was Tan. Shout out to Tan. That's your Vietnamese brother, Quan Tan Vu. Is that his last name? I can't play a one championship video, but yeah. Shout out to Tan. I met him. He's really cool and just a lifelong martial artist. So, a lifelong striker too. Lifelong striker that learned jiu-jitsu. It's pretty hard to deal with. Yeah, Tan put it on him. All it takes is one loss, Quan. One loss, one bad loss. That's all it takes. Now we got Kurt Osiander. He says, he explains why it's important for women to train jiu-jitsu with men. I'm going to just say it's important to train with everybody as much as you can. As long as you're safe. It doesn't matter what gender you are. Just train. When it comes to developing elite level skills in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, BJJ legend Kurt Osiander believes women should embrace a simple, challenging path. Train with men. Within reason, train with the guys that can control themselves, obviously. train with the guys that have common sense. Some of these guys, bro, I'll be watching some of these guys train, and they're not thinking. They just wild. It's important for women to train with males because it develops their technique against bigger, stronger opponents. Unfortunately, there's usually not that many girls in schools. That's more of a cultural issue, not so much a training issue. You got to have a culture that promotes women being around. And that's something I noticed with Eddie Bravo's school. You look at 10th Planet, maybe they'll show it later, but like you watch the 10th Planet schools, they got a ton of girls. At least the West Coast 10th Planet. I don't know about the East Coast 10th Planet. But like you watch Eddie's school, he's got a ton of girls training. So you got to make it an inviting environment for the ladies. He says, unfortunately, there's not many girls in schools. Some have a lot, and some don't have any, or some don't have very many. Just training with your male counterparts that are your size or a little bit bigger will be just as good because they're going to be stronger and usually heavier than you. If you can move them around, you're going to be able to move the girls who are in your weight class around easily. Women's jiu-jitsu is just some of the most pure jiu-jitsu there is because it's just razor sharp technique. It's usually because there's not as many female training partners for these ladies to train with, so they have to adapt their skills against people that are usually heavier and larger because it's mostly guys they're training with. And that kind of goes back to the root of martial arts, It's to help smaller, weaker people beat larger people. So yeah, we definitely want more ladies in the sport. I think the biggest thing is just have a good environment, a good culture. Basically. That's basically it, guys. Have a good environment. Don't be creepy. So we're going to watch a match. We got Eddie Bravo versus Royler. So maybe later, I think maybe tomorrow, we'll watch the second match, the rematch. But let's watch the OG match from 2003. So this was in Brazil, I believe. I believe it was in Brazil. So to have Eddie, Mexican-American nationality go out to Brazil and beat Royler Gracie was pretty wild. So Quan says, notice the Americanized schools have less grooming going on, so I'm guessing more females feel comfortable there. Could be true. I've seen, some of these, they got it in American schools too, bro. That's the big issue in all the martial arts. And it could be cultural. I think that's just one side of it. Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what makes 10th Planet special. I think it might just be more inviting. You can see Eddie there. He's outgoing. He's he's got social skills. He's a musician. He played in bands. He's outgoing. He can, you watch him making jokes in the class, and it seems to be inviting. And he doesn't take himself very seriously, and he really enjoys the art form. So I think he's an outlier. I don't think even most Americans are like that. Most American coaches probably going to be more withdrawn and what's the word? They're not as outgoing as Eddie Bravo. Eddie's making music and he's talking people. He was talking Rickson Gracie's ear off for 20 minutes about the rubber guard. He's pretty outgoing guy. So I think his school is probably special, and I don't even know if the other 10th Planet schools are like that. I think that's just his direct academy. And I assure you, I'm sure some of those affiliates, they got some creepers in there too. I'm not going to name any names, but I think some of the 10th Planet affiliates got creepers too, just like the other schools and affiliations. But let's get into this match.
A lot has happened since the trials. I won the trials. Never really lifted weights before, but once I won the trials in October, this particular fight ended up being in May of the next year. So I had a little over 6 months to prepare for this tournament, the granddaddy of them all, Abu Dhabi, in Brazil for the first time, on national TV live going against Royler Gracie. I mean, this is it. I mean, this is what every lightweight fighter dreams of, getting the chance to roll with Royler Gracie. I mean, this was it. And of course, I'm trying to lure him into my half guard, and he doesn't really.
We didn't know how to pull half guard back then, guys. We didn't know how to pull half guard. There we go. All right.
Like I was saying earlier, once I won the trials, I knew that, I mean, I'm going to Brazil and I'm going to fight against legends, you know, the top guys. So immediately I had to start weightlifting.
We didn't have that passing. We didn't have the passing or the guard technology back then, guys.
He ended up being my personal trainer. He got me in shape for Abu Dhabi. I've never been this strong in my life. I was pretty damn strong. And I needed every bit of strength to beat a guy like Royler Gracie. I mean, this guy had never even been scored upon in Abu Dhabi competition. He's won every year he's been in. I mean, this was the reigning champion. Passing my guard there, but I put him right back in. He had very good head and arm control from the top. He would not let me have my left underhook. He would not give it to me. He knew the importance of that underhook from half guard. He would not let me have it. It was so tight. As you can see, my left arm is over the top. It's not underneath. Try to put him back into my half guard.
Ele vai fazendo, vai pondo pressão, né?
Not much really going on here in the beginning of this fight. Still. But I have, you know, haven't been in like quarter guard is what I call it. Trying to put him into half.
He's got the jailbreak hook in.
This is my left hook. There we go. Now he's back in.
And then once he gets his overhook, that's when it gets kind of gnarly.
Needed that left butterfly hook to open it up. I'm trying to get my left underhook, as you can see. Trying like hell. He's holding so tight, I could hear his breath right in my left ear. He's holding.
You know, he's like, I ain't listening to no American.
He will not give me that left underhook. I want it so bad. He won't give it to me. So all I could really do here, basically, was just hold him again. Is ready?
Yep.
He's got the lockdown.
Got a close-up of the lockdown there. Now he's got good head and arm control. Still, he's squeezing. There's not much I can do from here. I can do the stomp, but I'll admit I was pretty cautious about doing the stomp. I was like, man, if I try it, he's gonna pass my guard again. So I was pretty cautious.
So guys, there's no points in the first half.
So back to the center of the ring.
Actually, I don't know what the old school points were, or scoring was.
He's got a good head and arm control. Got him in my half guard lockdown. All that was really available here was, I mean, my right arm was totally free. It's my left arm that's jacked. So, in a second here, I'm going to underhook his left leg with my right arm. See that? Right there.
There you go. All right,
and
back
then
in the same
I
position.
don't really feel like I'm trying to put him back into full guard, but man, his left leg is just in the right spot. This guy's just way too experienced to let me put him back in the
I feel like if we watch this match, we got to watch the other match too with Leo
He's
Vieira.
almost passing here again. He's got his right knee through. He's in quarter guard again. I have him in quarter guard. He's about to, thinking about passing. Slide his knee right to my right side. Holding on to that head and arm. Damn, he has good control.
Portler wasn't letting up, guys. I don't know. I would have done something different or something. I don't know. Switch a head and arm.
Trying to
Push the hip down. I guess he knew that Eddie was flexible, so he didn't want to let go.
Passing my shit. It's pretty crazy to watch.
Se bem, João, que o Ed
This
Bravo-
reminds me. This looks like a Masters.
Live
It's like what the
Brazilian
Masters division looks like, guys.
Right here, I'm trying to get his back, just like I got Javi's back and Jamie's back. That's how I'm trying to get it. Same way. Almost.
Consegue pôr agora.
Not quite.
Vai estabilizar e vai montar.
Yeah, Eddie was flexible back then.
So now he's past my guard. Still trying to take his back. Oh, but I sweep him.
Hey.
It was that right arm that hooked his left leg and just powered him over. Now I'm in his guard, and I am a little worried about getting caught in a triangle. I am a little worried, but
Vamos ver se ele consegue. Não.
I'm safe now. Now I'm going to sit back for 100%. Right there. I usually get guys right there with 100%. But man, he has no shoulder. His shoulder was
He has no shoulder.
non-existent. A double jointed shoulder thing. There we go with the jail.
Eddie was
Right
kind of
back
wild
in the
back in
guard.
those days, bro. Just like
You know, those
I think he was a
rumors
brown
about
belt though.
shoulder,
Remember, he was a brown belt at this
absolutely
time.
Fazer uma passagem.
He just went right through one of my money moves.
Veja só como
It's a
ele
little
fez a
shoulder
passagem.
sweep.
Conseguiu estabilizar e vai.
Right here, I'm realizing, wow. Thought I
Macau.
had him. Thought I had him. Thought he was just falling right into my
E
trap.
a sorte dele foi que ele conseguiu passar a guarda logo na sequência.
Why they got the referee's nickname on
Ele
there?
tomou aquela raspagem, né? É. Deixou o
Now
adversário.
got him in full guard, but that's like a 3/4 guard. Now, finally,
All right, now he's got his
finally,
overhook. All
full guard.
right, rubber guard.
Pra dentro da guarda do americano.
Finally, what I wanted.
O Ed
Now
Bravo
we
tenta ali
got him up in
encostar.
mission control.
A
Gonna
perna
force
pra
his
fazer triângulo.
left hand, right hand to the mat.
O Royler não vai cair nela.
I wasn't going to London yet here. That would have been great.
O vencedor
If I would have been going to London here. My game has already changed. Right here, I'm thinking, man, I mean, I have an omoplata if I want it, but I really don't think I could pull off an omoplata on him after feeling his shoulder just totally resist my 100% shoulder sweep. I'm thinking the only way I'm going to be able to get this guy is with a triangle. Is all I'm thinking about. But how? Just thinking about how I'm going to set it up. I know I got a couple minutes left. The fight's almost over. I'm actually thinking, man, I need way more time. If I just had an unlimited amount of time, I could just set him up for anything. But time's running out. I know he's ahead on points. I mean, he's you know, he
Watch his arm.
He has,
Right, that arm right there.
He
You
does
see
not
how it's
hesitate
coming
to
out?
stall. He'll
The
stall.
left arm?
You know,
E aí vamos para a
he's
semifinal.
known for that actually. When he fought Barrett Yoshida, he didn't really do much, so I knew this was going to be hard, and I wasn't totally sure I could do this. So I'm thinking about faking an omoplata and then going to a triangle.
Ó, como já volta ali, o Royler tá bem.
Just I hate time limits. Now he passes my guard. Bam!
Old people need that time limit, bro. That
Now
time
I'm gonna
limit be saving the old
jailbreak him
people.
Back in.
Vai estabilizar.
Here we go.
Jailbreak
I got
hook
the
in.
overhook on his right arm with my left arm.
I think he just shoots
Then
the
I'm gonna
triangle.
grab his wrist.
Grabs and
That's
shoots,
the
right?
key. He can't pull back because of the overhook. Bam! The triangle's on. I knew all I had to do was cinch it on and it was over. I knew he wouldn't be able to get out. The only thing I was worried about was the time. Do I have enough time? I'm squeezing. Is there enough time? Are they gonna fucking blow the whistle? Tap, dude. Tap, tap, tap.
Gracie's don't like to tap. Did he go
Finally
out?
pulled his
He
head
did
down
tap.
and he tapped.
A real Gracie would have just passed
It
out.
was over. It was over. I raised my hands, walked around the mat.
Brazil!
like I was a king, but inside,
I'm glad
I
they
was
didn't
like,
stab him.
What the fuck just happened? I'm basically pretending here that I'm the man, but inside I was just like, man, what the fuck just happened? Did I really fucking do that shit? Did I just come to Brazil on live Brazilian TV and tap Royler Gracie?
It's crazy, Eddie didn't have no
shit.
tattoos back
And
then.
here, the truth comes out.
Fresh Eddie.
The little baby inside of me just came out. I just started bawling, crying like a little bitch. I couldn't contain myself. I never
Aqui com a gente
had
o Royler,
tears of joy
primeira
before.
grande zebra desse
Never knew
Abu
what the
Dhabi.
hell that felt
Ninguém
like.
esperava acontecer, o que parecia
Nigga, Hoyler. Hoyler, how did you feel? I just got tapped out, bro.
He's talking shit. Oh, he just got lucky. He just got lucky, man. He just got lucky.
favorito em esporte individual.
It's a fluke.
Mas tamo aí, Brasil tá de ponta.
That was the translation.
Beleza, aí o Royler bastante contrariado com essa derrota. É verdade agora. O Ed Bravo ainda
That's
tá
about it.
no meio do tatame.
And this is
Tá
freaky
chegada
here.
dele.
Well, here's the replay.
Ed,
He tapped like 7 or 8 times with the right hand and then finished off with the left. I wanted to make sure there was no controversy.
He's
Joe
like,
Rogan on the left, Jamie Walsh on the right, little crying bitch in the middle.
I want to make sure there's no controversy. You know, if the ref don't see it in Brazil, man, I didn't tap man. Man, I didn't tap man. Does that remind you? Did you guys see the? Actually, I won't bring
I
it up.
think they're gonna interview me here. It's not a good time to give an interview when you're
Bastante
broken
emocionado,
up.
Ed não consegue nem falar. You wanna unbeatable, man.
I'm pretty spent here, emotionally, physically.
Can't believe I won.
I don't know what to think, really. I didn't know how to feel or what to think.
Acredita falar que o Roller é uma legenda do Abu Dhabi e não acredita que venceu até agora. Muito emocionado, Ed.
Damn, that's like watching ESPN.
It was ESPN. It's crazy they were on. Well, in Brazil they can go on TV. In America, I don't think we're ever going to make a TV, national TV.
He was like, oh, fuck!
So that's awesome. That's awesome. And Horler actually is really good. He just probably underestimated. Actually, I don't think he underestimated Eddie, because he was, he came in and was staying really tight with that head and arm control. I think he knew that Eddie was flexible, so he didn't want to give up anything. But and that was kind of a basic finish. The Eddie did is like overhook, block the wrist, throw the leg over, triangle. He just kept attacking. I think that's really important. He kept attacking, trying to get the submission, and that's why his jiu-jitsu is so good. That's why EBI is so good, because they're always attacking, looking for the submission. Which doesn't always lend itself to the point system. So we got one more episode of the Eddie Bravo Building an Empire. But before then, we had some questions about the collegiate grappling. So I just wanted to read through this real fast. USA Grappling is the governing body for the Collegiate Grappling Series. The Collegiate Grappling Series, CGS, CJS, is a series of dual meets, dual tournaments, and individual tournaments for college, university, and junior college clubs teams to compete across the country. It says it provides support with tournament. So USA Grappling provides support with tournaments and event production, event producers, officials, awards, tournaments, operations, media, and uniforms. Everything you need to get started and or produce your college grappling event. Your club must be sanctioned and have a current grappling leader with USA Grappling. So I would need to I got to do a grappling leader membership to even become a coach in college. All athletes must be current members, and then all athletes have to have that athlete membership. In addition to the stage to compete and represent your university, USA Grappling and CJS provides the insurance and infrastructure for all involved. This includes $25,000 accident insurance for all athletes, coaches, and officials and volunteers while both competing and practicing. General liability policy, $1 million and $5 million for the club, and $1 million and $5 million for the policy for events. So if you guys know any people in colleges, let them know about this. They can get that started. All they need is a event leader, or I think it's called a member grappling leader. They need the grappling leader. So they need a club, and then you need a grappling leader, and then everybody just needs to have a USA Grappling membership, and then they can start throwing events and competing in events. And then we saw some of the colleges. Mostly these are in California: UCLA, San Diego, UCI, Cal State San Bernardino. So yeah. And they got different memberships. They're a little pricey. IBJF is about $40, but eventually will be $60, guys. Don't worry. They're gonna get up there. So let's look at the adult membership and the grappling leader. And then they got some other stuff too. So adult membership is for those members who are at least 19 years of age at the beginning of the membership season. Valid for athletes wishing to compete in USA Grappling sanctioned events and chartered clubs. Membership benefits include secondary, non-duplicating sports accident insurance provided by an outside carrier. That's pretty great. There is sports accident supplemental benefits provided by USA Grappling members who participate in limited non-sanctioned events. So you might have some insurance for these other events. That would be pretty amazing. The insurance coverage includes a deductible, co-payment provisions, and other conditions of the policy. The privilege to compete and take advantage of events, camps, clinics, international exchanges, and club programs. So I probably need both of these memberships, to be honest. Discounts on grappling gear, equipment, and apparel, and national discount programs as they become available. So that already sounds way better than my IBJJF membership, which I don't know what I get for. What do I get for my IBJJF membership, guys? Can anybody type in the comments what I get? I get the right to spend more money. That's what I get. So they got the Grappling Leader, which is the coaching membership. It's a Grappling Leader membership are for those who coach, profess, teach, and or officiate grappling. So I probably need both of these. In order to become a Grappling Leader member of USA Grappling, one must first pass a mandatory background screening and complete Loop 1 safety training. Membership benefits include secondary non-duplicating sports accident insurance provided by an outside carrier. There is sports accident supplemental benefits provided to USA Grappling members who participate in limited non-sanctioned events. This insurance coverage includes a deductible, co-payment, blah, blah, blah. So you get limited liability insurance per the conditions of the policy, the privilege to coach at events and specified camps, clinics, international exchanges, and club programs, opportunities for coach instruction and certification, and other national discount programs as they become available. This membership may not be used for competition as a grappler. All Grappling Leaders members must complete abuse prevention and safety training and pass a background check before becoming a member. Background checks can take up to 5 to 6 days to finalize. So I think I need to sign up for both of those, actually. Quan says you get the right to add a stripe to your black belt every 4 years. I wish I did, but I actually got to pay. You got to pay an even bigger fee, Quan. I think we looked it up. It's like $450. Yeah, to even start to get certified and get stripes and stuff, it's like $450 just to get the ball rolling. So we'll read these other two things. So Academy Charter. So if you got a school, I'm trying to get Tony to do this. A club charter provides membership affiliation with USA Grappling for state and national clubs. Academy charter benefits include liability insurance for practice sessions supervised by Grappling Leader members and general liability protection for club leaders and volunteers. So I think for Tony and for my friends, if you have a school, you should sign an Academy charter. And then if you have any competitors, you add them into the USA Grappling athlete membership. And then that way you should get some liability insurance for your members, which they don't have. They don't have if they do IBJJF or any other organization. You're not going to get that with anybody else. It says that includes general liability protection for club leaders and volunteers, $1 million in 1 in 6. Subject to coverage limits and conditions. You got to read the fine print or type it into ChatGPT under the policy. Each club pays one charter fee, regardless of the number of athletes or ages involved with the club. All members of the club must be individual members of USA Grappling. Additional insured owners, operators of facilities may be listed as certificate holders for a fee of $25. So I guess that's if you were running your program in someone else's academy or school. Allow 2 days for additional name certificate from insurance carriers. A Grappling Leader membership is required to charter any academy. Abuse education and background must be completed as part of the Grappling Leader membership. Coverage extends for 12 months beginning 1st of April, extending to March 31st. And then sanctioned event. So there's also potential for running your own events. And because it's they can do the dual meets, you can have people from all the colleges around your area or national. You could blow it up. Maybe I'll try to do something like that when I get a little bit older and settle down a little bit more. So sanction event, a sanction for a USA Grappling event approved by the state chairperson or designated state director and received and approved by the national office within the appropriate time frame prior to the event provides organizational affiliation and other limited benefits. Liability insurance coverage for tournament organizers and volunteers is the benefit of the sanction, as well as limited property damage coverage subject to coverage limits and conditions under the policy. Details available. The owner of the facility where the event is held may be included as an additional insured upon submission of appropriate forms and approval of the insurance carrier and no additional costs. At no additional cost, all contestants must be individual athlete members of USA Grappling, and in addition, all coaches and officials participating in the event must be grappling leaders, members of USA Grappling. So it's going to take a while to get all that done, but that's why I'm saying we should start doing this stuff now, guys. That way you can represent your country. They do different events. There's a world championship. There's a qualifier. I think we missed that. Yeah, so they didn't really post this too much, but there are qualifiers for the world team events. They had one in March, April, May. So we missed all of that basically. It's in Texas. But maybe the next year we can send a team out there. You can send a team and they qualify to go to the world championships. Would be amazing. Oh, it's in Smooth Comp too. Kansas City. Shout out to Kansas City. You can see the rules. We're not going to go over the rules right now, but okay, they got the rules too. Oh, it's the AGF. Is that what's going on? Oh, so I think they were, I don't know what they were doing. I don't know who competed. It's so small right now, but eventually, we can grow this a little bit bigger. And that's on them. They gotta promote this a little bit bigger. If they partner with guys like me and other people, we can blow it up. So let's get back to Eddie Bravo, guys.
If I was to put together a show, how would I put it together? How would I fix the problem of jiu-jitsu being boring?
We're still trying to solve that problem.
Throw out everything that has any kind of holding to it, like gi, you hold. Okay, we got to get rid of that. Got to make it submission only. Not single matches. In my opinion, I think the tournament style is the best. You have single matches, you can't compete with MMA as far as entertainment value. You got to do something that they can't really do. Put together a 16-man tournament. You could do that with jiu-jitsu, and that's what made the first UFCs really exciting, and that's why it made a big impact. By the time you get to the finals, you're invested in it. It takes about 2 hours to get through a 16-man tournament, and you watch it unfold. It writes itself.
There's never been a tournament like this. This is more than this is bigger than ADCC.
Yeah, CGI was good.
The end result is you have a lot of hungry finishing machines that are going out.
It just wasn't viable, The
crowd's loving it.
That $1 million, they said that $1 million.
It's more entertaining to watch jiu-jitsu when two guys are trying to kill each other opposed to two guys just trying to hold each other.
I can't even tell you how good I feel. Screw it, I'm just gonna go out there and fight. You know what I mean? That's all I got.
And it's always more exciting when it's first new,
Hopefully, EBI 5 can pull it off again, We've had Grand Slams 4 times in a row. Hopefully, we don't run into some problems.
I think it's always fun when it's new. I think when people learn the system, gaming the system, that's when it gets boring. So if you need to constantly be changing the rule set, to be honest, like every event needs to always have a different rule set. So say CJI 2 does quintet, well, CJI 3 needs to have a different format. So people are always getting, prepared for the next season. But I think if you let them learn, game the system, it gets boring. That's when stalling comes into play. That's when people have too much time to strategize. People over here building the slanted wall. So you can't let people like figure everything out, because then I learned how to do this, or I know how to, play the rule set like that. So I think you got to keep changing the rule set and, don't let it stagnate. That's why the first UFC was so good. People didn't know what the rules were. They didn't know martial arts was real or fake. They just, I don't know.
All right. One day you guys are going to be in EBI. Train hard. Train hard.
Was that
fighter?
What's the girl at AOJ?
Hold on. Can you just shut the fuck up? I like that shirt though, bro. I like the shirt though.
Look at Eddie, yo. Eddie,
I do get paid to talk.
Eddie. Yeah, Eddie
is a bad
different breed, bro.
What is today, and where are we?
Today is Sunday, December 13th. We're in downtown Los Angeles at the beautiful Orpheum for EBI 5.
Yeah, but now there's no more 3 rounds. It's just quintet style.
I dreamed that jiu-jitsu would be on the stage and to be Eddie's black belt and to have my name on it. It's a dream. Thank you very excited much, I really appreciate it.
Very excited to have you here.
I want to give you a great show.
That looks like Chris Wojcik before Chris Wojcik.
Sunday, December 13th, we're at the Orpheum. Today's the day that I defend my title.
I remember hearing that guy.
My
I don't think he's around
motivation is to
like
be
he used to be, though.
Every day when I wake up, I think about being the champion of EBI.
Denny is the current champion, and I hope Denny goes out there and leaves it all on the table. That's what I hope. He can't shut up about jiu-jitsu. All he talks about, all he thinks about is jiu-jitsu. So I expect him to be in the finals again.
When the lights are on me, my name's on the building, I can't ask for anything more. I want the pressure. This is what I've always wanted. It makes me rise to the occasion. I remember watching Eddie prepare for Metamoris and watching Eddie handle the pressure. Bring it on.
I mean, what pressure was there? He already tapped out Hoyler.
Regarded as the best jiu-jitsu dude in the world. With that comes pressure. I want that.
Oh, shout out
the pressure that comes with that.
Anthony Bourdain's
Fuck it.
ex-wife.
I ain't afraid.
What was her name, guys? Who remembers her name?
I'm not afraid of living my dream. That's
She's got a different name. What is that lady's name, guys?
Denny is an encyclopedia, always adding and always learning. Oh, we're about to open up. We're about to start. We got to start.
Bianca? Something like that.
And now, coming onto the mat from 10th Planet San Francisco, he is the current EBI lightweight champion, Denny 300 Prokopo.
Hey, oh.
Prokopos pulls guard there, immediately bringing those legs high.
There it is. He's
you don't see any rubber guard except for Ben Eddy now. Is he the last rubber guarder?
Now he's going for omoplata.
Is Ben Eddy the last rubber guard artist?
Nicely done by Denny Prokopos. Getting on top. Triangle position here. Locks it up.
Wow. Nice.
Carrillo has to hold tight.
Transition.
Over 90 seconds remaining here. Denny pulls the head.
Well,
there it is. It's done.
Yeah.
Denny Prokopos getting it done. Triangle choke submission. Credit to Denny. He held with his game throughout the entire round.
First match of the night I won.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 8 minutes and 30 seconds.
Why the hell old dude out there? He masters 3. Quan, he in your division. He's the same age as Quan is. Maybe older.
3 more to go. 3 more submissions. Great. Like I'm gonna win. So there is. You feel great. Just keep going.
I like that 10th Planet rash guard. Nathan Orchard.
I've never been this prepared for anything, and that's the scary part,
Nathan's better than ever. He's learned so much and has grown so much and evolved so much. He could very well take this all himself.
To give it all you have and put it all out there, and I can go out there and lose in 10 seconds. And you know, to tell you the honest truth, I'd be totally okay with that because I know what I've done. I know I'd still be good at jiu-jitsu.
His leg lock game is like through the roof now. And at 55, he's really dangerous.
Welcome, Nathan Orchard.
Oh, it's Lackland.
No stranger to EBI.
I don't know if he won this one. Who won this match, guys?
He lost to teammate Denny Prokopos
in
this exact weight division. So he's going to look for some redemption. And credit to Giles being defensive here, not letting Nathan Orchard really secure a dominant position. While he's not, throwing a lot of offense, he is definitely frustrating Nathan Orchard here. Orchard not able to get to where he wants to go to try to finish this thing.
Man, when I grabbed onto those Kimura grips.
So guys, look. Lackland was using some just basic jiu-jitsu to win that match. No leg locks, passing. So it is one downside to Eddie's style sometimes. I feel like you kind of saw it in the Hoyler position, Hoyler match. Sometimes they get so tunnel vision into the system, the rubber guard system, et cetera, that they do neglect some of those basics, They do neglect some of that shrimping, some of that just basic stuff you should do and watch out for. So that is a downside to the 10th Planet West Coast style. It says Denny P disappeared because he went too deep into conspiracy theories and lost his mind. Dang. That's another downside to the 10th Planet. They be using some mind-altering substances and then, stuff happens to them. They're not the same no more, so... I'm saying be careful. Whatever gym you train at, B Team, 10 Planet, it could be a Gracie Baja school, wherever school you're at. All I'm saying, don't drink the Kool-Aid, guys. Just train hard, but you don't need to change your personality. You don't need to do anything crazy. Don't change your morals. Definitely don't change your morals. Don't do anything illegal. Okay, I'm telling you now. You got my permission. Don't do anything illegal, guys. Just train. Wherever you are, train, have fun with people. But, if you feel uncomfortable, you don't have to do what they're telling you to do or, anything like that. Okay, you got my permission, guys. Tell them Alex said I don't have to do it.
When I got my rubber guard, I thought it was going to be over. Dude, he did what he had to do, pull off the W in overtime, and we each escaped 3 times. He ended up escaping 9 seconds faster than me.
Yeah.
So,
I also don't like that. I also don't like I don't like the EBI overtime anymore because people, like I said earlier, they can game the system. So people know how they be cheating. I don't know if you watch it now, before they go into EBI overtime now, they be like, they be adjusting themselves, they be moving themselves, and they're ready to get out, They're ready to get out as soon as you start. So people game the system. So you gotta change. You gotta keep throwing new variables at people.
I want to beat people that know my game because that means it really works. Today it didn't. He shut me down. Had great awareness, great defense.
Listen, the only person that can say that is probably Hodger. You can know his game, but you ain't stopping it.
Javi might be fishing for an armbar. There it is, done. Just like that, Javi Vasquez. Selling out for that rear naked. There it is, done. Kim Terra gets a submission in overtime here. My goodness, Rafael Dominguez now back in the spiderweb position.
And the Brazilians were taking over.
Second overtime.
Oh no, the Brazilians.
He didn't tap.
Wow, there it is.
The Brazilians
gets it done.
Was Gary Tonin doing this one?
Denny had a hell of a first fight. He showed some high-level, amazing rubber guard to pull off that triangle at the end. It felt so good to see that, to see him get that win. It was a tough match. He pulled it off at the end. And then in his second fight, Rafael Domingos, that guy's no joke. That guy's a legit badass and a super professional jiu-jitsu. And man, he just couldn't pull it off.
I actually, just being super real, I thought I was going to face Gary Tonin, and I lost to Rafael,
Hey, bro, you aren't going to beat Gary Tonin.
Goes
you aren't
that
going
way
to beat Gary Tonin, bro. Yo, I need that USA Grappling membership, bro. Get that insurance.
I don't even.
I need that insurance. They don't have me looking out like that.
This is being super real. Just go back and.
You do these tournaments, bro. Your shoulder jacked up, arm broken.
Sometimes things happen. It was his moment, his day. He's good. He's very good.
Yo, after this, I'm gonna sign up for USA Grappling, guys. Bro, you do these events, you think you get insurance? Nope. You're lucky if you get paid.
It's all about promoting action. So how do we promote action? We gotta promote action using money. As the money increases, the training camps change. Now they're training to finish instead of training for points, where like the finishing is.
Now they're training to stall to the overtime
to win these tournaments, these point tournaments. In submission only, in EBI, you got to train your finishing a lot. I'm not trying to get rid of the gi. It's like trying to get rid of chess. I mean, chess is a very prestigious cerebral game, but I'm just not interested in it, and I'm not trying to like abolish it. I'm not trying to abolish the gi. All I'm trying to do is improve jiu-jitsu and MMA, and now improve jiu-jitsu and sub only as well. Next one.
Yo, what did Eddie do to his hair, bro? He still had his hair now at this point, but then that hair is
when I'm setting it up,
gone.
I'm constantly testing to see how long I can control this hand. I don't want to grab the wrist out in space. That control will last less than a quarter of a second. But if I grab the hand and pin it to his leg, I can control him just long enough to get that. Ooh. Now I have a reason to really focus on sport jiu-jitsu as well, because of the new sport that was just born really a few years ago. Never really thought submission only was you could really have tournaments and stuff, but you actually can, and it's amazing, it's exciting, and I think the entire jiu-jitsu community should be behind it. Like, you're behind points over submission only, like,
they both boring.
An example of like some weird
they both bored.
Mind, like mass type stuff. I don't know what that is, but if you're into jiu-jitsu and you're not way more into sub only than you are points, I think something's wrong with your brain.
Girl.
So on the card, I am the last super fight before the finals. So they do, the brackets, super fight in between each one, and then I'm the last one before the finals.
Who is that?
Lila took the fight on short notice. Gabby Bella, who's a purple belt of mine, she got injured. She was supposed to go against Talita, and I had Lila waiting in the wings. And when Gabby gave the word that
she's in a UFC, I think.
Lila stepped in with a couple weeks' notice, and this is actually a rematch. UFC now. Talita beat Lila a few months ago at Gracie Worlds in a super fight, and this is a chance for Lila to get some redemption.
In the blue corner, she is representing 10th Planet. Please welcome.
You know when a girl got all these sponsored patches on her no-gi stuff? You gotta have a fight on your hands.
I want to have fun, and I want to put on a good show. Really, that's the most important. I want to leave feeling good, feeling like I put on a good show, regardless of what happens.
Lila's going for the reverse Alcatraz, which is a popular escape amongst 10th Planet practitioners. There she goes again. Well, she's underhooking the foot, and then she's going to trap that one foot and then push it up. There you go.
Wow, look at that. Lila Smanja gets what she wants done there.
She's got a great balance game.
Your match not going good when they say you got a great balance
She does. Now inside.
And here, you see she's doing a good job of keeping her elbows.
Oh, look at that. Beautiful stuff.
Oh, nice.
By Lila Smanja.
Wow.
From out of nowhere, she's playing the leg lock game.
That was good, though.
Selling out for this total.
Oh, no.
Final 10 seconds. Get you finish it right here. Smanja circling. Time is going to run out. Wow. That was fantastic stuff. Alan Carr will go on offense in the first part of our overtime. Oh, there it is. She's going for it. Going for submission right here, and then Alan Carr's free.
Wow.
Not a lot of riding time.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have our winner in overtime, the fastest escape by 2 seconds,
So you said, oh, how's that different than points? I mean, that girl, she didn't really win the match. Let me pause that. So the girl, I mean, she won the match, but I mean, did she really win the match? So I feel like the overtime's almost as bad as points. Again, you can game the system, guys. There's ways to escape really quick, like, or there's ways to hold so the person can't escape. Yeah, I don't know. Jason says, EBI made a lot of stars. Gary Tonin, Gordon Ryan, for instance. Actually, Gary Tonin got popular. Shout out to TLI. He got popular on the Gauntlet. Was it the Gauntlet? It was a show with Lloyd Irvin. I think that's when Gary Tonin got popular, I believe. Yeah, he was already popular. He was already Well, the ABI might have made him a star, but he was already popular after the Kumite. That's what it was called, the Kumite. Maybe we can watch that series. But I remember Gary Tonin, AJ, some other guys were on there. Of course, Gordon Ryan for sure got popular through EBI. Gary was made a star on EBI, but I was just saying that he got popular on a different show. Gordon got his chance because he was a backup fighter. If someone got injured, someone did, and the rest is history. Yeah?
Riley Breedlove. He is the new EBI lightweight champion from Ocean County Jiu-Jitsu, Gary
every day from Monday through Thursday, I would cry at the end of practice because they were putting so much pressure on me. But
he did the show before then.
I did this for 2 weeks. I can stay here and get out and control and work
he did
my
the
game,
show.
And,
he did
and
BJJ
that's what I
Kumite.
did. So I'm so thankful for my training.
When all those guys were like brown belts.
I feel like,
I think, right?
I can do it.
Yeah, Lila,
which happened first?
That was a spectacular performance, man. She deserved it. She's been working so hard, and she's on cloud.
Yeah, I believe he was already popular before he fought Kron, I think. I could be wrong
I feel
though.
on top of the world. I feel
You might
like
be right.
all the hard work paid off.
I feel like exhilarated. Like that was crazy.
Riley goes out there and gets business handled, and I'm very proud of her.
We're gonna check BJJ Heroes, guys. We'll see.
16.
Actually, it wouldn't be on BJJ Heroes.
23. Yeah, her jiu-jitsu is on fire right now.
Wow.
Based on the roar of the crowds, it seemed like it was another Grand Slam.
That's pretty good.
It seemed like to me, maybe it wasn't, but the crowd they were screaming and yelling, especially during the overtime rounds. When there was escapes, the crowd went nuts. It was like, wow, they're really digging these overtime rounds. It was awesome.
Yeah, I think Kumite came first because it was a brown belt Kumite, Kwan.
I've been representing 10th Planet since I was 17
unless
years old.
Kron, unless Gary Tonin fought.
No doubt. It's more than a dream come true. I really am. I'm walking around in a dream every single day.
I'm just super grateful and super happy where 10th Planet is, and I'm very honored and feel blessed to be a part of it. And I love Eddie. Where I am in my life today, I wouldn't be without Eddie Bravo. Eddie Bravo is like a second father to me.
Oh man.
Thanks to Eddie Bravo, I have a career in jiu-jitsu. Every single day, I'm just stoked to
That
be
might
a
have been
part of
before
this
you started.
10th Planet
Actually, you
community
started a
and
long time
jiu-jitsu
ago.
community. You know, it's
You didn't hear about
it's just
BJJ
great to
Kumite?
be any kind of part
Well,
of it
it was like Keenan
really
when he was a
does
brown
make
belt.
Me feel like
they did like a whole
I'm
reality
a part of evolution.
TV
Everything
series.
I do is to improve jiu-jitsu. People think I turn my back on jiu-jitsu. That's the biggest misunderstanding ever. I never turned my back to jiu-jitsu. I committed my life to it.
Yeah, shout out to Eddie, bro. He's done a lot, in a time period where it was hard it's still hard to make it in jiu-jitsu, but, there's really no Americans back then that were, maybe Matt Serra was beating Brazilians, and, Dean Lister, and then I guess Eddie Bravo. There wasn't that many Americans that were rocking it like that. Can we find this real fast? We're not going to look it up today. So this was the series, Quan. It was the BJJ Kumite. I just want to play a short clip of it. Hopefully Lloyd Irvin doesn't hit me with nothing. 12 years ago, so I think it was before. What year was that? 2013?
You guys are out of the house.
Yeah, no, man. I've been wanting to eat out forever. Because I cannot cook.
So it was
I am
a reality
the worst
TV show.
cook on the planet.
AJ
I think I
Souza,
screwed up like
Lucas
3
Castell.
turkey sandwiches while I've been here. No one else in the entire tournament like touched my leg at all. Like Gary literally, I felt Gary like about to do that thing that he did to Vitor.
He even said that.
Yeah, he was going for it and he let it go. Like he's like, nah, man, fair's fair. If you have my back and your foot's hurt, that's all right.
So Lloyd Irvin did this like several years ago. Daryl O'Connell, look, Daryl O'Connell.
Yeah, but I'm being honest.
He was on there.
If everyone else is gonna do it, I'm gonna do it because then when I'll do 2 seconds, I'm gonna have to do it at some stage, you know, fucking, I don't know.
Guy from UK experiencing like burrito.
Yeah, totally different. Just about
rice, meat.
100 anyway because.
So you see all the guys. They did like an Ultimate Fighter basically.
Before we got here, we were all gonna fight each other, and the winner would
20
get $1,000
2012,
and
so
a chance
it
to
was
fight
before.
Keenan. But now that Keenan's inside the tournament, that the second place guy,
John Roberts.
should get $1,000, and then the winner should get a grand prize.
AJ Souza.
It's almost like you may as well give the person that has the best record the
already
3,500 anyway because
Gary Tolan. So I think
we probably already
that was
beat the
definitely
guy
before the
that's gonna
Con
be in
match.
second place.
I don't think there's one person here that disagrees with this.
Well, this is 2012.
Keenan, of course, but
But it wasn't released until 2013.
You know, if one of us
So a
was
year
just
before.
far better than the rest, that's allowing them access to all 4 prizes that were originally available.
I think we should keep it as like second and third could get
John
like the money
Roberts,
prize, you
Fabio
know, like
Passos.
second get 750, third would get like 250, you know.
more simple way of putting what they're trying to say. They've been talking for a while, and I don't think people.
So you know, Lloyd Irvin had already put on a show like this, and it was set up so people could face off against Keenan, who was like the best competitor at the time. So it's kind of a cool idea, you know. It was a great idea. You see, it had 300,000 views back then. So yeah, I mean, that's the cool thing about YouTube. You can make a show like this. You know, I'm not saying it might cost you it might cost you a couple $1,000s, but you know, as long as you got the cameras and you know the place to film and the athletes and a place to keep the athletes, you could do something similar. Yeah, but shout out. I mean, they did that in 2012 and had all these guys. You know, Daryl O'Connell, he was the coach to Fionn. You got young Gary Tonin. You had a lot of good guys that were kind of well known on the competition scene, but nobody actually, you know, social media was still kind of newer. So we didn't have there wasn't influencers back then. But then these guys would go on to do a lot of good stuff. It was before Quan 2012. You saw that. It said 2012 on there. I remember where it said 2012. It said 2012 at some point.
And a chance 100 anyway. Like the money.
Yeah, well, you know how production works. Whenever something's released, that's not when it was, you know, filmed. Frank Camacho, I remember Frank Camacho, Jamal Hargrove, Jared Smith, and Lloyd Irvin. All these guys were kind of in Lloyd Irvin's at his school already, so he already had the resources. So that's pretty cool. So we were trying to hit this yesterday, but we're gonna try to get through this small portion here, 10 minutes or so. So we got the Simple Man podcast, and they're talking to Greg Saunders and the Corbrig Bros. So these are ecological guys. I will say that these guys trained wrestling and trained jiu-jitsu for several years, and were already good before going to this guy's school. Okay, so keep that in mind.
Yeah, they'll
Greg
know
didn't talk about his personal life. Okay, can neither confirm nor deny.
Do you have a wrestling background? Did you start this before jiu-jitsu, before the gi even?
So both my brother and I both wrestled.
Oh, sick!
Yeah,
all right.
So why I got into wrestling the same month I started jiu-jitsu because it was something to do in school, right? It was like it looked good on your college.
Wrestling was?
Yeah, like it's extracurricular, right?
Yeah.
It looks good on your college resume. You know, I was raised in that culture. Make sure you get into it. You know
Damn
about
straight.
it. Yeah, you know about it. Like get into that good college, make your resume look good. So that's why I originally wanted to go into wrestling, and then I started liking it because it was just like jiu-jitsu and something I did after school. But I wrestled all through middle school and throughout high school, and then my brother did the same. He's far more decorated than I am in terms of accomplishments wrestling. He's state champion Virginia, and then I just
nice.
took I think the best I did was 4th. But however, I would say I'm glad I did because, and you probably attest to this, is the amount of competition you get in a season, it makes you good at competing. Because imagine doing 2 to 3 events a week for 4 months. You
become second nature.
It's not so much the grappling part, but knowing how to compete. You know,
the feeling of competition.
Yeah, you get used. You start building your rituals. You start building your if you're about the rituals, right? You start, doing what you need to do to get ready for a day.
Who's breathing so hard over there?
You guys like before
why are they breathing so
competition, like semen retention, or I like to listen
or
to a
semen
certain
release,
song.
perhaps.
Yeah, both of you guys.
I used to be like that, especially when I was wrestling. I was like very superstitious.
Quan loves
so
those
I was
guys.
like the anxious type. So you're always looking for control. I'll wear the same underwear, wear the same shoes.
Dude, it's like AJ Ferrari. You've been watching that dude, AJ Ferrari? He's like, I've been using bamboo toilet paper and stuff, but like
he loses. But he didn't win.
No.
Even with all of that.
He got close.
I like that guy, man. I like him.
Quan, how long you think you would last at B team?
I used to be superstitious.
I'll give you 3 days, Quan.
In jiu-jitsu and wrestling. Then now I don't care. Like I used to I game a lot, and I'm like, all right, we could come like video games and stuff like that. Like I play. No.
I meant
I play that too. I play board games too. Well, I play Valorant, Marvel Rivals. I just picked up.
Our guy Nicky Rye is hooked on it.
Just got a boner in his house.
Dude, I used to play Apex, Fortnite when I was younger. Like COD.
Best friend, basically.
You gotta link up with
like.
I'm sending you. No. I'm sending you to train over there, Quan, not to hang out.
Ever since I was 5,
how long you think you're gonna train over there for, Quan?
On the computer. And ever since then, I've been gaming. But when I started competing, I'm like,
Quan said he's gonna hang out with them. He ain't gonna roll.
Maybe this gaming stuff is not.
Nah, Quan, you gotta roll.
And I'm like, now I really don't care.
Yeah, now he's back on the game.
Like before West Coast Trials.
Quan ain't gonna say.
Dude. Before the fight, I was up till like midnight playing Valorant, just trying to grind. And then, I'm not kidding.
Probably leaving early.
Then I went to Vegas for the West Coast Trials. And I was gambling before my matches.
Hell yeah! What do you play?
Yo. And that was my first time. I lost like $400.
Guys, we don't support gambling on this channel, guys. We don't support gambling.
Advantage playing.
Okay.
No gambling. Don't be gambling out there, guys.
He puts the money down and.
Well, I've been trying to play some poker, but
Quan, you better stay the whole class, Quan.
I think we gotta switch from craps to baccarat.
I'm telling Sim go to lock the door on you, bro.
Yeah. Well, I'm just getting into it.
I got his social media,
I played
bro.
roulette. I was like, yo, I have no control. Let me play blackjack. Then I lost $300.
See,
and that was before day 2. Then I was like so pissed. Then I warmed up with my brother. Then we competed.
But before, you gotta go craps because that's what you control the dice.
Yeah. I need a good
All right,
group.
guys, I'm gonna cut them off. They're over here talking about gambling. Quan said they good role models. Quan. I don't know if you guys should be listening to Quan no more, guys. He over here. He said they over here supporting gambling and addictions. He said they trolling, but listen, people don't know they trolling, Quan. They over here like, oh well, they gambling. I'm gonna gamble too. Yo, Quan. Quan, oh man, Quan, I gotta whip you back into shape, bro. You leaving class early and stuff. That ain't right. I'm gonna send Papa June over there. All right, guys. We're about to end early, but someone sent Uncle Day Day. You guys don't know Uncle Day Day, but he said he got to cover this. Actually, where is that thing at? It's not copying over. No. That's a sign I need to sign up for whatchamacallit though. Anyway, for some reason, this debate just won't go away. Quan said, "I never said they were good role models. You said they're entertaining." And I'm the one saying, "Hey, maybe don't follow these guys too closely." Shoot, I hit the wrong thing. All right, for some reason, guys, I have no clue. Can I get this off of there? For some reason, we talked about the whole gorilla debacle thing. Jesus Christ, there's so many ads. So apparently this is bigger than I thought. I thought it was just jiu-jitsu people. I miss Papa June. I'm supposed to see him maybe this month. We'll see. You got to hit up the Korean consulate. So this, again, they're talking about gorillas. I don't know. I don't even like gorillas that much. Like that. I ain't trying to fight a gorilla. It says, why everyone on the internet is talking about 100 men versus a gorilla, with Elon Musk, Mr. Beast, and more jumping into the debate. What is wrong with people? What's wrong with people? Why are we trying to fight gorillas? This is super entertaining, or B Team super entertaining? Quan, you over here, what's the word? Corrupting the youth? I'm over here telling kids, all right, kids, don't follow what the B Team guys are doing. And Quan's like, do it. So yeah, they keep talking about this stuff with the gorillas, guys. I don't know why they're trying to fight the gorillas. Whose post was that? It says they're going ape over this topic. Could 100 men take on a silverback gorilla and win? That's the hypothetical question that's setting social media alight, inspiring raging debates. I should switch this up. There we go. We got it fixed up, guys. Inspiring raging debates, AI-generated simulations, and even prompting celebrities to weigh in on this ludicrous interspecies matchup. The bananas discussion was originally sparked by user Dream Chasing Mike, posted on X that 100 men could beat one gorilla if everybody was dedicated to the task. The entertaining, yeah. But I'm telling people to not follow them closely and understand that it's for entertainment. Yeah. I ain't really entertained, but Quan is. But we can be different. We can have different opinions on that. The post has amassed over 270 million views at the time of writing and spawned countless replies from commenters, many of whom ridiculed the poster over his outlandish seeming assertion. No matter how dedicated you are, all 100 of you will meet your maker after a very violent and vicious death. May God be with you. I won't be joining in, unfortunately. Me and the homies going to fight the gorilla, but wearing suits to make the funerals easier. Oh, that's very thoughtful. Quipped another mixed mammal arts expert. Others reposted footage of two massive silverback gorillas ferociously brawling at a zoo to prove that Harambe would likely pound all 100 human opponents into putty. A digital simulation depicting how the fight between 100 humans and a silverback gorilla might go. Oh, I need to find that. Oh, they got it. Oh, it's on X though. I'm gonna click on that in a second, guys. But let me see what Mr. Beast is saying. And it's not just a simian suplex that we need to fear, despite their herbivorous. I can't talk. Their diet, gorillas boast a bite force of 1,300 pounds per square inch and around twice that of a lion. Okay, well, that's terrible. Some online digital wizards even generated epic simulations of how this hypothetical gorilla-human grudge match might go. Most ended with the I guess the gorilla winning. However, there were a couple of online conspiracy theorists who, like an uncle after several PBRs at the BBQ, believe that humans might not get decimated by Donkey Kong. I mean, y'all gotta jump in. Nah, I ain't jumping in. Interestingly, when the post ran the matchup past ChatGPT, they responded that 100 men could almost certainly overpower a single silverback gorilla. How's that possible? But with extreme difficulty, serious injuries, and likely fatalities among the humans involved. The gorilla could incapacitate or kill dozens before being overwhelmed through sheer attrition. Eventually, the group would subdue. Why is this a thing? YouTube superstar Mr. Beast said that he would do a video. He's gonna test it out. How do you guys feel about Mr. Beast? Quan, what do you think about Mr. Beast? Because I feel like most of the videos are like a form of torture, you know, like you're stuck in a building for a month. You know, I feel like it's like very torture based. Can I click on this? Hey, Jesus Christ. Why would you guys want to fight this? Nobody grabbed the leg. I ain't grabbing that leg. Quan, you got me? Help me, Quan, help me. Quan's like, I gotta dip early. Quan said he gotta dip early. Quan, where are you at, bro? Where you at, Quan? He did did he do another Squid Game series on Netflix? Either he does a game show or he does some type of torture. We still fighting, guys. We still up. Yo, this gorilla got cardio. I guess we just got a war of attrition over here. Where's Uncle Day Day? Help me, Uncle Day Day. Uncle Day Day's knees ain't good. Uncle Day Day, help me, Uncle Day Day. That's me. That was me. I was the last one standing. Help me, Uncle Day Day. Shout out to Dave, guys. This is the only reason I did showed this part of the video. Yo, we got smashed. That's Killer Tuesday. That was Killer Tuesday at Max. Yeah. Is that Big Nick? Big Nick, get off me, Big Nick. I don't care what you do, wrestling, judo, whatever you do, bro. It ain't gonna help against that gorilla, bro. I might post this on social media later, guys. We might have to post that. That's hilarious. Quan, you dipped early, Quan. Quan said, yeah, less death than Squid Games. Yeah, it's still torture though. That's it, guys. I hit all my stories. Tomorrow we will watch Eddie Bravo versus Hoyler Part 2, and then we'll see what else is going on in the community. That's basically it. I got no more news. We ran out of news. The gorilla's taking over. So probably gonna dip, guys. Again, if you guys have any stories I might have missed, send them to me on social media. That helps me put together my little program, my little show. And I'll keep you guys entertained. It's not as entertaining as B Team. That's what Quan told me. But I try my best, try to educate, break down some matches, and a little bit of entertainment, some jokes, That's basically it. And shout out again to Eddie Bravo. I learned a lot about him, this last couple of days. So I definitely think he was vilified a little bit. But kind of hearing his part of the story and that, he was just always trying to help jiu-jitsu. And I feel like on a smaller scale, it was like him, trying to show Hickson, like the rubber guard and stuff. Like, he's so excited. He went so in depth into this one subject matter that a lot of people didn't understand him, or maybe they just had preconceived notions about him. That didn't seem to be true. He really loves jiu-jitsu, and he's put back into the sport through EBI and combat jiu-jitsu and the rubber guard and you just growing no-gi. So he's done a lot, man. For someone that's kind of been ostracized, he's done a lot. Quan said, great show. Quan said, he's going to the Simple Man podcast. Quan said he'd rather watch. I'm messing with you, Quan. Thank you, bro. Yeah, that's basically it. We'll try to keep up to date. We got Brasileiros, so maybe we can watch some matches from Brasileiros. I think that's Saturday. You got a few Americans out there. You got Isaac Doderline. You got Big Breakfast. You had Roberto. I don't know if Roberto's competing, though. He might be out. And a few others. Hopefully, I can make it out there one day and go fight the Brazilians, too. That's basically it, guys. Go train. Make sure you don't skip the warm-up. Make sure you stay in class the whole time. You know, that's basically it. That's all I can ask for. Don't embarrass me, guys. All right, I'm going to play myself off. Again, if you want to support the channel, Inverted Gear, check out Inverted Gear and BJJ Mental Models, all right? That's the sponsors for the show. And for Nelson, Nelly, I got the video. I made the video for you. Got the half guard video. So I'll try to edit it up a little bit and send it to him. So that's it, guys. I'll see you guys Thursday. I'm going to play myself out. And where am I? Play myself out, and you guys know we got the Inverted Gear video as always. See you guys.